Conlon is down. That is the first time in his career he's been on the canvas.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 fights from the Creed/Rocky franchise.
They come to the center of the ring for the start of the 15th and final round.
You're going down.
No way.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best bouts in the franchise and ranking them based on the 1-2 punch of their plot importance and how good the choreography is. If you haven't seen every Rocky and Creed film, beware of multiple rounds of spoilers ahead. What's your favorite bout in the franchise so far? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Rocky vs. Clubber Lang, Rocky 3.
Clever, Rocky, you know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. When I tell you to break, I want you to step back up my command and break. Now go back to the corner and come out fighting at the bell.
Dead meat.
While Rocky is enjoying the fruits of being the reigning heavyweight champ, the undefeated Clubber Lang goads the hero into a fight. The resulting fight is one of the most brutal in the franchise. During the bout, the two boxers seem to forget how to block and just keep trading devastating punches. But as the match goes on, it becomes clear that Clubber Lang will dominate the fight.
It's too strong.
Don't talk like that, Rocco. Come on.
I'm a smoker.
This violent bout served as an extremely harsh wake-up call for the Italian Stallion. Although he ended up losing in the second round after getting hit with one last Lang punch, we were ready and willing to see Rocky get back in the ring to earn some redemption.
9, 10, you're out!
I did it! Second round! That's unbelievable!
Number 9. Adonis Creed vs. Danny Wheeler, Creed 2.
These guys have really been mixing it up here in the fourth. So far, Creed's youth outweighing Wheeler's experience.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
When Adonis promised to give his Mustang to anyone who could beat him, Danny Wheeler entered the ring and absolutely embarrassed Creed in a swift yet enjoyable match. The two didn't meet up for another on-screen fight until the sequel. Not only did the rematch determine who would be heavyweight champion, but it also determined the fate of Creed's Mustang. It was great watching Adonis prove he was a much better fighter by shaking off Wheeler's hardest hits. As Creed started to gain ground, we got to our feet.
3 years ago, that's a knockout. Wheeler's power just isn't the same, and no doubt Creed can sense how.
Seeing Adonis finally win his Mustang, oh, and the belt, of course, was incredibly satisfying.
It's over, Max. No way. Adonis Creed is the heavyweight champion of the world.
You know what you just did?
Number 8. Apollo Creed vs. Ivan Drago, Rocky 4.
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man. You need an interpreter? It's time to go to school. You're gonna lose.
The once great Apollo aimed to prove his worth to the world by defeating the gigantic Ivan Drago. While Creed begins the bout by showing off his agility and having fun, the match gets darker as soon as his opponent gets serious. Apollo gets pummeled so hard that his friend Rocky begs him to just throw in the towel.
I gotta stop it. This fight's finished. I gotta call it. No, you can't do no more out there.
I'm here to fight.
He's killing you. I gotta stop this thing.
I'm here to fight, promise me. You're not gonna stop this fight.
But after Creed insists on getting back in the ring, he is killed during the fight. This incredibly tragic exhibition match established Drago as the most fearsome antagonist in the franchise to date. As an added bonus, the result of this fight single-handedly opened the door for Adonis Creed to continue the franchise.
Creed versus Drago. That means something. Did that factor into your decision to take this fight?
I mean, you can't say Creed without Drago, right? This is what y'all want.
Number 7. Adonis Creed versus Leo the Lion Sporino, Creed.
It's all about you. Now, you wanted this?
Let's go, coach.
I want you to make it happen. I want you to make it happen. You do it?
Let's do it.
It's impossible to look away from this pivotal clash for a moment because it was all shot in one breathtaking take. Astonishingly, viewers actually get to watch Michael B. Jordan's Adonis and Gabriel Rosado's Leo trade blows in real time. The incredibly ambitious camera work is supported by the film's stakes.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to throw your left under the radar. Then when you come up with a shovel hook, you're gonna see an opening, put it right on his chin, then I'll drop him.
Adonis needs to win this match to prove that he is worthy of fighting amongst the pros. While the hero doesn't physically dominate his opponent, he's able to eke out a win by using his head. The scene's combination of great stakes and cinematography made what could have been a typical boxing bout into a gold standard example of how to shoot a fight.
We got one, Rock! Woo! We got one! But it's because of you!
Number 6. Adonis Creed versus Pretty Ricky Conlon. Creed.
Nice shorts, boy. Too bad your daddy ain't need to fight in them.
You know what? You're gonna close his big mouth.
Almost everyone who watched the amateur Creed get into the ring with the champ thought he was there just because of his famous last name. But after a rocky first round, the new contender demonstrates that he's a fighter all his own. Both combatants are incredibly fast and have fantastic form. Additionally, the lighting and shots ensure that no two moments in the fight look the same, and we never lose sight of the matchup's tremendously high stakes. Even after Creed gets knocked down, he gets back up to use everything he's learned from watching his dad and Rocky. While he doesn't get the win, Creed successfully makes a name for himself by the time the last bell rings.
An unforgettable fight on an unforgettable night. He's no longer just the namesake of Apollo Creed. He's the living embodiment.
Number 5. Rocky's rematch with Clubber Lang, Rocky 3.
I'll bust you out.
Go for it.
There was so much bad blood in the air before this rematch began that a brawl almost erupted before the match officially started. When it came time for them to clash, Rocky came out of the gate with lightning-fast jabs that seemed to overwhelm his opponent. But things looked bad when Lang started beating the stuffing out of Balboa. However, in one of the franchise's greatest twists, it's revealed that Rocky wanted to take his opponent's blows.
What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing?
Look, the strategy, that's all. I know what I'm doing.
No, you don't know.
Watching Balboa become a punching bag as part of a strategy to outlast Lang was absolutely brilliant. Rocky's astounding toughness and seemingly limitless endurance ultimately allow him to beat Clubber and regain his title.
Come on, come on!
Number 4. The rematch between Adonis Creed and Viktor Drago, Creed 2.
Ready? Ready? Looks, and we're underway.
Adonis Creed wanted to avenge his father's death by beating Ivan Drago's son Viktor, but the American fighter barely manages to survive their first match. When Creed returned for a rematch, he chose to fight for himself instead of going for revenge. The absolutely visceral fight is so well staged that viewers can feel the blows. And although Adonis gets knocked down, he refuses to accept defeat.
No man should be able to fight through that beating, but Adonis Creed wills himself off the canvas. What's your name?
Creed!
It's incredibly inspiring to watch Creed withstand earth-shattering hits and strike back with his own hard blows. As the cherry on top of the outstanding fight, Adonis walks away victorious by forcing his enemy to throw in the towel. This bout's cheer-worthy outcome brought Apollo's journey to a fulfilling end, while confirming his son's legend was just beginning.
And Adonis Creed defends his title, defends his name, creates his own legacy.
Number 3. Rocky versus Apollo Creed, Rocky.
And there's the bell for round 1, the most publicized fight of the ages. The fighters come into the center of the ring, looking at each other.
Once his iconic training montage was done, local underdog Rocky took on the heavyweight champ Apollo Creed. Although everyone thought it would be a one-sided match, everything changed when Balboa knocked his foe down for the first time. This game-changing moment just marked the beginning of a fierce slugfest. Rocky shocks the world by going the distance against Apollo and rebounding in every one of their 15 rounds.
Apollo can't believe it!
This fight became iconic because it represented Rocky's sheer perseverance and grit. It didn't even matter that the hero actually lost. This matchup still reigns as a groundbreaking and significant fight.
What do you think about when the 15th round when you're coming out?
Number 2. Rocky Balboa versus Ivan Drago. Rocky 4.
I must break you.
After watching his friend Apollo die in the ring, Rocky stepped up to defeat the giant who was responsible. Balboa initially gets absolutely wrecked by his huge foe. However, Rocky claws his way back into the fight inch by inch until he manages to injure Drago. From that point on, the bout becomes a brutal battle of iron wills and bodies. The tremendous choreography keeps the fight tense and exciting by letting each fighter shine without giving away who's ahead.
Forget technique, forget strategy. This is just a street fight. It's a question of who wants it most.
While the Cold War allegory underneath the fight can come off as cheesy for some, everyone can agree that the matchup is incredibly cathartic. Rocky's unlikely win against a seemingly immovable obstacle reminds us to always keep moving forward.
If I can change,
Я думаю, что каждый тоже изменился
and
сегодня.
you can change,
Вы можете измениться.
everybody can change.
Before we knock out our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Rocky vs. Spider Rico. Rocky, the opening fight of the franchise, feels raw, brutal, and real. Rocky vs. Mason Dixon. Rocky Balboa. Our favorite fighting veteran shows he still got it by forcing a split decision.
These are good punches.
Rocky vs. Thunderlips. Rocky 3. An absolutely absurd David vs. Goliath matchup that leaves you cheering and laughing. Rocky vs. Tommy Gunn. Rocky 5. A pure street fight where Rocky didn't hear no bell.
Yo, Tommy! I didn't hear no bell. One more round.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Rocky's rematch against Apollo Creed. Rocky 2.
As Rocky Balboa prays in his corner, the champion dancing over in his corner. We're just seconds away from the clinch fight of the century, Super Fight 2, and there's the bell.
Although Rocky was ready to hang up his gloves, Apollo was desperate to show the world he was the best by beating his old foe. The Italian stallion eventually answers the call and charges into battle against his old rival. While Apollo starts the fight showboating and taunting his opponent, Rocky quickly shows his foe that no one should underestimate him. The bout's full of shocking moments and brutal hits. After watching the evenly matched fighters trade blows, the exhausted duo falls to the mat. This moment leads to the most heart-stopping conclusion to any franchise fight because the first who rises wins. When Rocky stands victorious at the last second, the hearts of fans soared at witnessing what may be the franchise's greatest fight. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.